Thank you for taking a few minutes to learn about the cybersecurity tabletop card game, Cyber Threat Protector, which is designed to introduce cybersecurity principles and safety to students in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. The UTSA Center for Infrastructure Assurance and Security has created this game as part of our K-12 cybersecurity program to create a culture of cybersecurity nationwide. With Cyber Threat Protector, a game-based approach to learning is used to help introduce students to the concept of cybersecurity. Now, keep in mind that we are not talking about gamification or gamifying a lesson plan, or a focus on cyberbullying and other online lessons. This is a true game focused on cybersecurity lessons, but it is designed to be fun first. It's through repetitious play that students begin to discover that for every cyber attack, there is a defense. For every defense, there's an attack to get around it. Now, before jumping into details of the Cyber Threat Protector game, it is important to note that it's just one of 3 games in the CIS's Cyber Threat Game series. Each game targets specific grade levels and student abilities, while building upon the knowledge learned in previous games. For example, a student entering middle school who plays Cyber Threat Protector while in 5th grade can take their foundational knowledge of what a network structure is and the cybersecurity principles obtained from playing it, and begin to learn more detailed insights into cybersecurity defense strategies with Cyber Threat Defender, the collectible card game. The game mechanics and concepts carry through from one game to the next. Here's an example of a desktop computer card, which carries through all 3 games. As you can see, the content and details simply expand through each version of the game, but students will already be familiar with this purpose as they move from one game to the next. In the case of Cyber Threat Protector, students are introduced to essential cybersecurity vocabulary and cyber defensive strategies against cyber threats. And to keep the game simple and organized, 2 players share a single deck when playing. Now, there are 3 primary learning objectives for playing Cyber Threat Protector. The first is that we do stress defense when playing the game. Our focus is not to create a future generation of hackers, but ideally a good foundation of cyber defense knowledge, but ultimately a generation of future cybersecurity professionals to defend against such cyber threats. It's also used to introduce basic network assets and structures, as well as the basic understanding of cyber relationships between certain cyber attacks and certain defensive countermeasures. Now, here is a standard card in front of you, which features 4 key areas featured on all cards. We have, of course, the card's name at the very top, followed by a simplistic image of the card being played. The bottom half of the cards feature 2 description areas. The top description will feature whether or not that card can add or remove points and what other cards it may play against. The bottom description is a brief definition of what that asset, defense, attack, or event card may be in the real world. This is a great teaching tool for the classroom. Now, asset cards are the blue cards representing your network's assets. This is how you gain points in the game. Once played, an asset card will remain on the play field unless they are removed by an opponent's card. Defense cards are the green cards that defend your network from attacks. Your defenses will block or protect against certain attack cards from being played by your opponent and will remove those cards that your opponent has on the field. Defense cards remain on the play field unless removed by your opponent. Attack cards are the red cards that affect your opponent's network. Attack cards remove a point, which are the asset cards, from your opponent each round and stay on the play field unless removed by a defense card. Attack cards can also remove some defense cards, which means the asset cards will then become vulnerable to an attack. And finally, we have the gold event cards. These event cards have special abilities, and they're unique because they must be discarded immediately after they are played. And those are the 4 different kinds of cards in Cyber Threat Protector. Now, to play a game, players will need to shuffle their decks and then place the deck face down for both players to pull from. On your screen is a sample layout of the game for a single player using Cyber Threat Protector and a game mat. Now, if kids are playing with this game mat, they would put their 2 game mats together. So the draw pile on the top left corner will be shared, and the discard pile on the top right would also be shared. Now, both players do start off by drawing 5 cards each. We won't go into the full game rules here, but as you move through a game, make sure that one of the players is designated to keep score. Remember, players are rewarded for building up their network. To identify the score at the end of each round, a player will simply add 1 point for each asset on the board, so to speak, and subtract 1 point for each of their cards an opponent may have in play against them. Remember, the cards clearly identify the value of each asset and remind them about points subtracted as they play. If the game on our screen was the end of a round, then this player gained 3 points and their opponent has lost 2 points. Now that you've gone over the basics of Cyber Threat Protector, consider adding some complementary resources to student activities. More than 80 activity sheets are currently available to download at no cost to support specific grade levels from kindergarten through 5th grade. These activity sheets introduce the Cyber Threat Protector characters, as mentioned earlier, as well as the CyBear family. This family of CyBears help introduce a variety of technology and cyber-related topics to young learners. You can also access a variety of free, downloadable games for elementary age students through the website cultureofcybersecurity.com. So how is this game supported? Well, as a nonprofit, the CIS relies on grants, sponsorships, and gifts to produce and distribute complementary classroom boxes to educators nationwide at no cost to the teacher. Each classroom box, which is available upon request by teachers, includes 15 game decks. Since one deck is shared by 2 players, one classroom box can support up to 30 students per classroom. For additional information on Cyber Threat Protector, how to request your own personal classroom box, or purchase your own personal copies of the game, please go to the website ciasgaming.com.